Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Wee. I'm thrilled to be joining you. I'm the Director of Research and Programs with the Center for Survivor Agency and Justice. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Lorena today from the Violence Intervention Project here in New York City. So as what's happening today is that as a part of CSAJ's Consumer Rights for Domestic and Sexual Violence Survivors initiative, we're putting the spotlight on innovative consumer and economic justice initiatives, just like the ArteSanando project at VIP. So our hope through my conversation with Lorena today is that her experience, her program, the strategies and lessons learned that they have will really help you all of you who are watching, offer you some helpful insights on how you are currently doing the work, how you might engage and enhance your economic advocacy, and identify some places that maybe you're struggling and insert some new energy there. So if you have any questions while you're watching this video today, please email us at info@csaj.org and we'll be happy to connect you and answer any questions. Lorena, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thrilled to be here.
Yes, I'm thrilled to have you, and thanks for being with us today. So to start us off, can you just introduce yourself, your organization?
Absolutely. So I'm Lorena Kourousias, as you just mentioned, and I'm from the Violence Intervention Program. VIP is a non-for-profit organization that provides services to Latinx survivors of gender-based violence in New York City. We are based here in New York City, and we offer services to all the boroughs. So we have been growing. We have eight these different programs in our program. And we have services, we have provided services for more than 10,000 New York State residents. And I work with the domestic violence and survival programs and focus especially in the economic justice that we're going to discuss a little more during this conversation.
So what we're spotlighting the ArteSanando project that you developed. And I just want to quote something about your project. It is the only economic justice service culturally tailored to the needs of immigrants with limited English proficiency, without employment authorization, low income, survivors of intimate partner and sexual violence in New York City. So wow. Can you tell us a little bit more about ArteSanando? What's the purpose? How does it operate? What do you do?
Absolutely. ArteSanando is one of our programs. It's one of our non-conventional way to address consequences of abuse in survivors of intimate partner violence, sexual assault, and another gender-based violence. We offer counseling services here at VIP. We offer referrals. We accompany clients to court. We have different programs, but we realized that we need another program to develop another program for the clients because the economic was really one of the parts that was not fully addressed in our other programs. So ArteSanando aims to create a safe and dignified living wage jobs for survivors of gender-based violence. We focus on decrease the possibilities to get involved or to return to abusive relationship due to economic need. And we develop a safety space for them. We work in a community, we create a community, and we emphasize on values like solidarity and respect with them, values that our community already have. And ArteSanando is a program of phases program. So it includes developing, like we start from mapping, we go through, develop some basic financial information, we create some skills, our clients already are fully skilled, and we have those skills, and we sometimes have somebody from outside that come here and to help them to improve their skills. And then we go to the community and we have these pop-up activities or small markets in another organizations when our clients can sell their products or can offer their services. It's not just products, it's also, there are also services like food or services like pet grooming or other services that they have. And we connect the community in those services. In our final phase, the client that already finished the program are helping the others that they just start the program. They become the mentors of the first one. So ArteSanando address the roots of survivors that they are struggling with providing food for their children, food for themselves, or being able to pay housing.
I just want to highlight something you said there about the different phases of your work and your eye towards systems and systems change. That's something I think is really powerful about your work, is how you also take the understanding of the structure and the systems and fuel that back into your individual advocacy and your community work with survivors by through the mapping, through bringing in the community, through understanding that you know that it takes a long time and a lot of money to get to a bank or get to a job interview or even get to services that they need. And I think that awareness, bringing in that awareness from the beginning is really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to describe a little some of the phases of ArteSanando, and we start with the reflection. We believe that one of the powerful part of the program is to really reflect the situation we are living in, and we try to move this victim blaming from our clients, like you are poor because you don't work hard enough, or you are poor because you don't have the skills to really find a job, and without considering the social conditions around them. So at the beginning of the program, we sit down in a group and we talk about these things, and we use mapping to think about this. Where do I live? Where the supermarkets with healthy food are? Where the banks are? What do I have around? And how difficult is for some of them to overcome the situation that they are facing. It's not as easy as it seems. So mapping has been one of our tools that is helping us to visually see how this is working, not really to support them, but to work against or to put more obstacles there. And what we do there is not just to stay in that situation to say, okay, so it's really difficult for me, so I'm gonna stay here, and there is nothing else to do. So we move from that and to say we are together on this, and together we can do and we can change the way that this is set up. So we go to the second phase and we call it empower learning. In empower learning, we have all this financial information that our clients need. Banks, credit unions, budgeting, how to work and how to live in public benefits or public assistance money, because sometimes it's the only money that they are getting in, so how they can do it in a better way. And then we explore entrepreneurship and technical skills, which is, I think, is part of the beauty of ArteSanando, that they already have a lot of skills. So it's a strengths-based program, and our clients already know whether how to cook, how to sew, how to paint. We just embrace those skills. And we also believe that they have to heal from that abuses. Like finding a job when you are an immigrant, when you are low income, when you don't have employment authorization, when your English skills are not the best or they are none. it's hard. I mean, just learning how the system works is difficult for them. And finding this community when they work together and they support each other really provide this space for them to start thinking in a different way.
I want you to talk a little bit more about that, because I think that the community engagement and community organizing that you do and how you link it with the ArteSanando project is really important. And I think for some organizations that we've talked with, can be a harder aspect of the work, or perhaps there are some disconnects there. So can you describe how you set up the community events, what that looks like, how you go through the process of engaging the community in this work?
We see our work in 3 different levels. It's one part is the healing process of the person, of the survivor, but as a community, we also need to heal from all these abuses. It's not just like, oh, it's one person who has the issue and the community has nothing to do with that. So we believe as a community, we also need those spaces to heal, to relate in different way with people. So when we do these activities in the community, we involve the community and we say, hey, here is your opportunity to do something different. To purchase something for a person that needs the money to support their family, instead of going to these big companies that are taking your money and supporting other policies that are maybe against you and your community. This is a way to go around and to say, hey, as a community, we need each other. And how we're going to do it in a simple way, I think is what we are doing with ArteSanando, which is how can we do it in our own space, in our own terms, with our own cultural values. So first of all, we establish the connection with the organization, whether it's the school, the consulate, another organization, another social service organization. And then our clients go there and we go with them and they offer their products. And we usually have people, we have speakers during the event. It's not just the market when somebody's gonna go and purchase some stuff. We use the space to change the narrative around survivors. It's like we have this opportunity for them to get some money, but also to tell their stories. And so we create this really intimate space when the community feels like it's one. Not many people, but it's one community there. It doesn't matter if we have different nationalities or different interests at that point. At that point, we have in common that we all want to do better. I remember another time at the Mexican consulate, it was one of those snowstorms. It was really heavy, and we have a full house, and it feels really like a intimate space inside when we all were protected and safe, and we all can talk, and it's really the feeling with the clients at that moment. It's like make the other people being part, feeling like I want to be part of this solution. And they get some stuff from our clients, but also the opportunity to think, what can I do to change these things that are happening around people? Because, so it's not just this joy that I'm doing better, but also this community idea of we all can do it better, and the success of the other one is also my success. It's also, it has something to do with me as well.
So hearing all that, I know I'm having these questions, so I'm assuming, I assume and I hope that people watching are having similar questions, which is, how did you get here? And I know that when we first spoke, you talked a lot about how you learned about economic empowerment programs and what you first started doing at VIP, and that you've really gone through an evolution, is what I think you told me. So can you talk a little bit about that evolution and how you developed the program and what lessons you learned that were important to really make the biggest impact that you can.
Absolutely, yeah. BIP has been working on this part of finding ways to provide, to increase the income and economic safety for survivors for a long time in different ways. At the beginning, we tried to replicate some curriculums from the mainstream organizations. So at the beginning, we were thinking that ESL classes, GED, computer classes, all those referrals were the way to go. And they are and they are not. We have to do those things, but they are not enough, which it seems like this is the model, like our clients are going to be in a better situation if they are with a bank account, which is possible. That is yes and no, because if a person has no money, opening a bank account is not like a magic way to get some money to put it in the bank. So it's important because it's a goal that may help that person to get into a better situation. So we were like a really informing and changing our way to work with the feedback that our clients give to us. And at the beginning, we were like, okay, this financial information is important. How about if developing skills? How about, and we realized that the reflection part and the mentorship were not there. So we realized that we need to start getting informed of what is happening around to really being able to move around. And we have like 2 or 3 years ago, we changed our data collection system. And that helped us a lot as well, because we were able to collect more information and we were able to see the success, the outcomes, we are getting there or not. And we realized that we have to improve and to change some things in order to get and to do better in this work. It's like the outcomes from many organizations is like, oh, I have 100 clients that have bank accounts. So, well, I'm doing super good.
And what does that actually mean?
Yeah, exactly. As I said, it's really hard. And it's really hard to find outcomes. And our data team is working hard on how to input information when our clients are hired to cater an event for food. And they are maybe getting more money. And how can we collect those numbers as well and say, hey, with this program, the increase of income in our clients is so and so and so. So the data collection, informing from our clients and switching sometimes the program and adding program. That's the way we have been changing ArteSanando and the economic justice. And we also changed from our name. We were the Economic Empowerment Services and we moved to Economic Justice and Survival Programs. And as we discussed at the beginning, we try to get to the economic justice piece. However, our clients need survival right now.
It sounds like a lot of things happened, that you were trying out a program and you had to take a pause and you return to survivors' experiences and their stories. And it was that helped you change the way you collect data to reflect that. And then that in turn helped you find some clear ways to develop or change, modify, tailor your program and services to meet survivors where they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were talking a little bit about some of your amazing partnerships. So can you share an example or maybe a story of how you developed some of your most critical partnerships in this work?
Absolutely. And I'm super happy to do it because one of the part that is important for us with our partner is they are uplifting us and we are uplifting them. So one of the one, and we are so happy with them. It's Center for Family Life. Uh, Center for Family Life is, it has a different services, but one of their services is co-op, workers-owned co-op developers. So how we connect with CFL, Center for Family Life, it's like almost a year of work. So we start researching about other organizations that maybe want to collaborate with us, and CFL was one of them. And we took a training. We were trained by them on how to develop a co-op. It was one of the options. And then we applied for partner with them to be developing the cleaning co-op together, and now we are doing it. So our partnership relationships are long-term relationships. There are not just one time that we're gonna interact. We try to be strong. We try to support them if they need our support, and we do mutual referrals. PIP has not an office in Brooklyn. We have office in East Harlem, Corona, and the Bronx. And CFL is in Brooklyn. So it's another way to get connected with the community in Brooklyn. And maybe it means more work for us, because before we partner, we try to do a research and see what that organization is doing, if it really aligns with the values and with our goals. But at the end, I can say that if you don't put the work at the beginning and the time at the beginning, then you have to change the partner and change again and again and again. So one of my findings is like investing a little more time at the beginning, and really getting a strong partnerships that's going to support your work and you being able to support them.
And how did you determine that you had similar values? Was that through having a series of conversations with them, or?
Yeah, to having a series of conversation, to look into their mission, to, I mean, I'm sure if I read some of the banks, their mission is a little different than the credit union. And also some of the partners are connected. CFL and the credit union and Qualitas of Life are also connected in other projects. So it's like one of our partners maybe said, you know, I'm working with this organization and it's working really well. So we start looking into that. And if it seems like is a partnership that can work for our clients, we start some conversations with them and find out if it's possible, because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it looks like really well, and when we start talking, we find out that what they want is to replicate this operation system. Like I'm the one who has the power, the other person has to be under my power. And then we are just like, let's look for another person or another organization. And I think networking is important. Networking with the partners we have and attending their events, it's also a way to get into another partners or possible partners to work with, and to break these like communities or service providers isolation, because sometimes we are hardly working on what we are doing, that we forgot that maybe another organization is doing it in a better way, and maybe we can learn, and sometimes we don't have the time to do those things. And but I think that time is well invested if we do it. We're gonna.
And at CSAJ, we often talk a lot about multi-level advocacy, or working at multiple levels. And we talked a lot about how you connect your individual advocacy to community advocacy, even to systems in a certain way, because you're changing the way, for example, survivors are banked, as just one example in your community, and what work looks like through these co-ops. Are there other ways that you're thinking about systems change, or do you have plans or hopes for that space?
So I said we see in 3 levels: the individual healing space, the community healing, and getting involved in the solution, and the political part or the policy. We can kind of disconnect those three because they are interconnected. So, and our clients feel like when they become mentors of the other ones, they feel like I'm changing myself and I'm helping others to also see the world in different way, not to feel like, okay, you are poor and you have to be over there, nothing to do with me, now I'm not. It's like we are interconnected on this process. And what we found is powerful is to telling their stories. We are used to get disconnect of the stories of people. And but when you see the faces and the stories of people, you tend to understand easier what is happening and what is going on there. So ArteSanando is just one small thing that is providing healing spaces for survivors and the possibility to get an income, but the possibility to be part of the change. And I think ArteSanando shows that it is possible, that we have some possibilities to change many systems if we work in our small organization and we start like spreading the word out.
I'm hearing a lot that your a really important value is reflecting. That takes time and a lot of energy. Are there ways that you do that in your work, or?
Yes, I'm super lucky that I have another team working with me and we're working with the survivors. So we have people working with the numbers. I'm not really good on analyzing the numbers. I'm good with people. I'm a people person. But when the idea is to reflect what is happening and our data team is giving us the information, it's a really good way to say, wow. Or at the beginning with our program, thinking that maybe the information was enough, because it's easy to think like the clients need ESL classes and computer classes. It's easy because they need it. They need those services. But when you see that the outcomes is still the same, okay, you have, I don't know, I'm going to say just the number is not the right number, but you have 100, 200, 300 people that are completing ESL classes, but nothing is changing on the job placement and nothing is changing. So then maybe that's not enough. Let's do something else. And we have a bi-weekly meetings with my staff, and we get to know each other. We debrief a lot in the process. After the kickoff of the co-op, we sit down together, we talk about what had happened. And we have this weekly check-in with the CFL. It seems like a lot, but it really saves time. Even if we don't do it a lot or we think we don't have a time to do it, is how can we put it into the things we already have? Because maybe all the organizations have already meetings. How can we use that time also to think about it, to reflect about the last program or the last session? It's amazing. We have a lot of information there, and it's rich information. So telling the story is working, and working with other partners is also working. Doing what is important for our clients is working. And right now we are developing our first workers on co-op at VIP. That is the first co-op that is full for the membership are survivors of domestic violence, all of them. So we had the kickoff 2 weeks ago. So we are super excited with that. At this point, it's a cleaning co-op, but our idea is also to continue moving ArteSanando to this co-op model with these principles of the co-op into different areas. But right now we are doing cleaning co-ops.
For those who might not know or be familiar with working with worker co-ops. Can you just explain what a co-op is really quickly?
Yeah, I think in its name has a little the description. It's a business when everyone is the owner of the business. It's not this hierarchy when we have the boss and the workers and the manager. It's one person, one vote. Mm-hmm. The workers are the owners, and everything is like a share among them. They develop their own business, and all the income they receive is divided among them the way they decided to do it. I see. And I think that's another way, changing the way we name things around us. It's like why we don't say economic empowerment services, because I think we discussed this a little. We believe in the power of people, empowered to the people. We are not the ones who are going to give the power to other person because they are powerful already. What they don't have are resources around them. So what we are trying to change is putting the resources around them as much as possible, but we are not the ones with the power to give it to them.
Wow. Well, thank you. What I'm taking away from this conversation is a really intentional look and connection to the community, and taking a lot of care with values and language and stories, and changing the narrative, and how that they're simple things, but they're complex things. Mm-hmm. You take time with them, and they've really helped you develop multi-level, impactful, survivor-centered program that is buy-in for the survivors that you work with. So thank you so much for sharing that and for joining us today.
Thank you so much for this space, and I'm super honored. I'm honored, really honored to being able to talk about these topics. And I know this is just one small program, but it's not small when we think that it's changing lives of people. And I'm humble and honored to be here in the program that you are working with. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for joining us. Again, if you have any questions for Lorena or about the program, please email us at info@csaj.org, and we'll make sure to connect you and answer any questions. So take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.